Have you ever wondered why just a little salt, a slice of lemon, or a drop of soy sauce is enough to make your whole body react? It's not just a feeling on the tip of your tongue, but a vibration deep inside you, where memories and emotions intersect. The tongue, the part that seems to be just a tool for eating, drinking, speaking, actually carries within it a complex neural map, leading straight to the most primitive emotional regions in the human brain.
But wait.
Before we delve into the mysterious umami or savory feeling, let's go back to the starting point. Taste, what is it really? In the old days, when our ancestors were hunter-gatherers, tasting food was not just a matter of taste. It was a survival skill. Bitter can be a sign of poison. Sour signals that food is spoiled or undercooked. Sweet, an easily absorbed source of energy.
Salty, essential minerals.
Umami, rich, deep, referring to proteins and essential amino acids.
The human tongue is born a warrior, always on alert.
Not to enjoy food as we think, but to protect life. Indeed, every time you taste something, you are evoking millions of years of evolution. And so, the so-called tasting is not simply identifying flavors. Every time you put food in your mouth, your brain activates a chain of memories, emotions, and instincts.
Do you remember the first time in your life you tasted bitterness?
Maybe it was the coffee your parents drank every morning. Or the first time you grimaced at a lemon. Or the indescribable feeling of joy when biting into a piece of grilled meat soaked in the rich flavor of umami. Each taste bud is a door to memory. No one has the same tasting journey as another.
Each tongue is a map.
And each map leads to different emotional regions. We often think that emotions come from the heart. But many times, it starts from the tip of the tongue. The sweetness of the cake that mother used to make. The saltiness of father's sweat.
The bitterness of early sadness.
The sourness of regret.
And the taste of umami, like a silent lullaby of life, nourishing from within, deep and true.
The tongue is the language that the body uses to talk to the world. It says, this is safe. Or, this is danger.
It whispers, this is memory.
And sometimes it screams, this is happiness. So, how does this tongue, this silent warrior, work? How does it distinguish the 5 basic tastes, from sweet to bitter, from salty to deep umami? And does your native language affect the way you taste? In the next part, we will enter the neural labyrinth, where the tongue, brain, memory, and culture dance together.
Taste is no small thing.
It is how you touch the world, and let the world touch you. The tongue, we think it is simple. A small piece of muscle in the mouth, supporting eating, speaking. But in fact, it is a sophisticated sensory apparatus, neuronized to the roots. On the surface of the tongue, thousands of tiny taste buds hidden, looking like small gates, waiting to open every time we eat something. But don't think that each taste is only in one place. Have you ever heard of sweet taste on the tip of the tongue, bitter taste in the back of the throat? Actually, that is a century-long misunderstanding. The truth is, every part of your tongue can detect all 5 tastes, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, just with slightly different levels of sensitivity. Imagine, you take a bite of a ripe tomato. The acid, sugar, and glutamate molecules in the tomato instantly awaken your taste buds. The signal travels through cranial nerves 7, 9, and X, traveling to your brain at the speed of an electric shock. At that moment, your brain reacts. Not only does it identify the taste, but it also links it to a memory. Oh, this tomato tastes like the soup your mom used to make.
Emotions flare up. Memories come flooding back. Just from one bite.
It's not magic.
It's neuroscience.
Tongue, nerves, memory, emotion. A chain of connections so strong that sometimes a dish can make you cry without you even knowing why. But then, we start to wonder, do we all taste the same? A piece of fermented cheese. For the French, it's the quintessence. For Asians, it can be stinky. Durian. For the Vietnamese, the Thai, it's the king of fruits. For Americans, it's a disaster of aroma. The story is not just in the tongue, but in the mind. The language you speak, the culture you grew up in, the memories you have, all influence how you taste a dish. And that's why we say, Ririmi are wena ri na hambaniza nanswo. Your mother tongue can shape your taste buds. Just think, if a child grows up in Italy, eating pasta with tomato sauce from a young age, he or she will easily perceive the umami taste from ripe tomatoes and Parmesan cheese. But if that child grows up in East Africa, with a diet of grains, boiled vegetables, the same tomato, he will perceive it differently. Language shapes how you describe taste. And in turn, how you perceive it. In Japan, the word umami is used widely and for a long time, almost as a distinct sensation. In the West, it is quite this concept has only been officially recognized in recent decades. Wherever there is a word for taste, people will experience it more clearly. If your language doesn't have a word for umami, you probably won't really notice it, even though your tongue can still sense it. See? The tongue is more than just a tasting tool. It is where language, memory, and emotion intersect. Taste is not just in the mouth. It is in the way you grew up, in the culture you live in the language you use every day. But what happens if you lose your sense of taste? Do we lose a part of our humanity? Or is it through that loss that we come to understand the profound value of a normal tongue?
Have you ever lost your sense of taste?
Not because of a passing cold. Not because of the heat of chili peppers that numbed the tip of your tongue. It's the real feeling, when everything becomes tasteless. You take a bite of a cake that used to be your favorite, and all you find is flour. You take a sip of coffee that used to evoke memories of your mother making it in the morning, and all you find is bitter water. You eat a familiar meal, and tears fall, not because of emotion, but because you can no longer feel anything. Loss of taste, it may sound small, not as serious as loss of vision or mobility. But for many, it is the door to a silent darkness. COVID-19, cancer chemotherapy, neurological diseases such as Parkinson's, damage to the 7th or 9th cranial nerve, all can cause the tongue to go silent. And when the tongue goes silent, the mind seems to go silent too. People live for sensations. And taste is one of the earliest, most familiar, most primal sensations. Losing it is like losing a part of your being. I once heard a woman say that after recovering from COVID, she could no longer taste the pho her husband cooked. A dish that before, just smelling the broth made her laugh with joy. Now, it was just a bowl of water with pho noodles. No aroma, no taste, no emotion. It was as if I was isolated from my own memories, she said. It wasn't the memories that were lost, but the path to them that had been cut off. But then, the strange thing is, the human brain has the ability to relearn taste. Just like when a child learns to talk, learns to walk, you can reteach the brain how to recognize taste.
Little by little. A sip of diluted salt water. A small piece of lemon.
A spoonful of slow-cooked soup. And if you're lucky, if you're patient enough, if the nerves aren't too deeply damaged, the taste buds can revive. But the beauty is not in complete recovery. But in this, people who have lost their sense of taste, once they regain it, will never eat a dish superficially again. They will taste sweetness with gratitude. They will be surprised to realize, vegetable soup also has such a gentle umami taste. And they will understand that tasting a delicious dish is not a given, but a blessing. Taste is more than just taste. It is a bridge between people and their memories, culture, emotions, and even their soul.
When you say delicious, you are telling a story. When you say bitter, you are expressing an experience.
And when you say umami, you are naming something very deep, something that makes you feel alive, present. So, if today you can still taste a dish, stop.
Bite slowly. Feel it. Let your tongue speak to you.
Let your language resonate through every nerve cell. The tongue, it seems like just another part of the body. But it turns out, it is where the heart, memories, culture, and life meet.
A silent warrior. A wordless storyteller. Next time you taste so meeting, don't just eat it. Listen.
Because maybe, it is telling your story in the language of your tongue. Zana a wu sweetiva.
Now you know. Taste, the map of memory.
And the tongue, the pen that draws it.